Guys, it's Kaylin here. Welcome back to Her Faith Unfiltered. So for today's video, I'm going to be talking to you all about my experience from the Bible study from literal hell. I'm not even exaggerating. If you're interested, please keep watching. Nobody prepared me for the drama that would happen when I finally decided to sit myself down and truly consecrate myself to the Lord. So I'm going to tell you, and I'm actually going to make a series called Tea Talks, because there is tea with being a believer, not in a gossiping way, but in a way of telling people your experiences so that they can be aware that this is what people who say they believe in God do. Grab a snack, get you something to drink, let go. So I'm going to try to compact every single thing that I can so it won't be too long, but I already know that this is going to be a long video. If you need to skip through, go ahead and skip through. If I can timestamp it, I will, but let's just get into it. I had made a vision board back in 2021, and it wasn't based off of new age. It was based off of write the vision and make it plain. That is scriptural, and I'll put it up here. I wrote down things, and I put pictures of things that God has told me that would be mine, things that have been prophesied over me, and things that are in the Bible that are promised to us. After I did that, I would go back in, and then I would put in the wants that I just had for myself. One of those wants just so happened to be a Bible study. Around October, I got a message on Instagram from a girl, and she was like, it was in my request. It wasn't in my primary. You have your primary, general, and request inbox on Instagram. She was in my request. I saw it. I completely ignored it. A week later went by, and the message just popped up again. I was like, let me read it. I reached out to the girl, and she's basically like, hey, I'm a Christian. I see you're a fellow Christian. I would love to meet with you and chat with you and become really good friends and just build a bond. At first, I was like, that's sketchy. I don't like that, because I'm not a social person like that. I like my friend group. I like my stuff tight, limited, because I realized that there's a lot going on in this world, and what you allow into your circle will then try to do whatever it's going to do. If your circle is Jesus and you invite the enemy in, it's going to be some clashing. So I was very particular about who I was friends with and all that shebang. I prayed on it, and I was like, Lord, let me know if I should, pursue a friendship with this girl. A week went by, I didn't hear anything. But all of a sudden, I had a personal conviction, because at this time, mind you, the Lord is having me to start my ministry as it pertains to helping women in faith. And I'm like, if I can't even respond to a girl that reached out to me on Instagram, how am I supposed to help a whole ministry full of women? I prayed. I didn't hear anything from the Holy Spirit, but I ended up reaching out to her. That was my first mistake. You need confirmation from the Holy Spirit before you do anything, and I mean that wholeheartedly. It will save you a bunch of heartache. So I went and pursued a relationship with this girl, friendship, and we hit it off, and we became really good friends. We would meet over Zoom. We would talk. She introduced me to her friends. I introduced her to my friends. It was good. So that was in like October. Fast forward to December, they're having a bunch of church events, the birth of Christ and things like that. One of her coworkers, I think she said, invited her to this virtual event. So then she invited me to the event. I attended the event, and it was nice, and they had a guest speaker speaking, and it was cute. In this event, they started to say that this church is going to be hosting online Bible studies, and they're going to be for different times of the day and different times of the week so that everybody can participate. So immediately, I'm not thinking about that being on my Bible study, because the Bible study that I put on my vision board was specifically for me to connect with believers, women who were in digital marketing and content, all this stuff like that. I wanted us to be able to, one, grow in the Lord, but then grow in our career field and to join. So after we get off the call, me and the girl call each other, and she's like, well, I'm gonna go. Do you want to go? I know that was something that was on your vision board. And I was like, I'm thinking about it. She was like, well, pray on it, and if the Lord tells you yes, join and let me know so you can get in the group that I'm in. I didn't hear anything from God. That was track number 2. But I just decided it's a Bible study. I had it on my vision board. Let me just do it. So we get into the Bible study. It's nice. It's cool. But then we get into the second month. When I started the Bible study, I was working one job. As the Bible study went on, the Lord had me start a second job. That began to clash with the times of the Bible study and when I would be able to go and when I wouldn't be able to go. Understand that there's a difference between you forcing yourself to do something that God has not told you to do, and you just want to do it, so then you get exhausted. And then there is God placing you in something that He said that is for you, and you getting tired doing it, but that is what you're supposed to be doing. I remember getting off my first job, going immediately to my second job, getting off my second job, logging into the Bible study Zoom calls, sending a message in the group chat saying, hey, I'm coming from work. I cannot read. I cannot answer any questions. But when I get back, I can. Like when I get home, I can do all that. So that was my life for about 3 months. After the third month, I began getting tired, as you can imagine. I was exhausted. I'm working 2 jobs and I'm fighting trying to get to a Bible study. I started skipping some classes, as anybody would. The facilitator, she did not like that. And she at first was saying, you know, meet with me so I can have you go over everything that we went over. And I was like, that's what a facilitator does. They catch you up. First and second time, I appreciated it. Around the third time, I was like, hey, I can just meet with the girls and get their notes and get their perception of it, so you don't have to meet with me. I don't have to go out of my way to make time for you. And she didn't like that. She was like, no, you need to meet with me. So I didn't like that. I met with her once or twice, but even that was me squeezing myself thin because I barely had time to get on the Bible studies. What makes you think I have time to meet with you every time I miss class? And I know what some of you are thinking, like, that's very ignorant, you're missing classes, like, that's disrespectful. It wasn't like I was missing classes just to miss classes. I genuinely would be exhausted, and that would be the only reason that I would not come to those studies. She did not say these words verbatim, but this is what she meant. She basically told me, until you catch up with me, I don't want you on the next Bible study call. Because you're not going to know what we're talking about. Strike number 3. That left such a bad taste in my mouth because I'm like, why are you acting like this is a college course that I need to be present for all these things in order to participate in the next study? I didn't like that. So that was strike number 3 in my mouth. I still attended, but I had a bad taste in my mouth. And I think the next I attended the meeting after that, and then it was the meeting after that I went to go log on, and she was like, hey, do you have time to meet up for the class that you missed last week? And I said, sorry, I don't. I can't fit you in. Don't y'all know? This is where it gets. Don't y'all know when I told her that I could not meet with her to make up the class that I missed, she did not let me on that Zoom call until it was 10 minutes left in the Bible study. Some of you all may be saying, you know, sometimes people don't see you when you come into Zoom and this and that. I texted her, I'm going to be late today. Look out for me. I texted 2 girls in the chat to let her know that I will text you all when I'm able or when I'm in the waiting room. Can you please let her know to put me on? Okay, genuine mistake, whatever. She reached out to me after that Bible study and she said, you know, have you picked out a time where I can meet with you to go over the Bible study that you missed last week? I said, no, I can't fit it in. I'm sorry. Went to the next Bible study. Y'all, I waited 30 minutes. She did not let me into that call. What did you think I did? Comment down below what you think I did. I said, I am done, because that hurt me so much. And it didn't even hurt me specifically. It hurt me because there's a believer somewhere that is not at their point in their walk that I am. There is a believer that has not gotten that God-given discernment yet. There is a believer that is very impressionable, that if I was that believer and I was going through this Bible study and I was going through everything that I had been through and you locked me out of a Bible, you would not allow me into a Bible study. Do you know how quickly you can turn somebody who is fresh in God straight back out into the world because you have an attitude because somebody missed your Bible study? I did not sign a waiver. I didn't sign a contract that said that I had to be there every single time you had one. And I know what some of you are thinking, well, you kind of want to just be there. If I could, I could. If I couldn't, I couldn't. But what I'm saying to you right now is that if I was an impressionable new believer, that would have sent me straight back out into the world. And that's what pissed me off. I was done with that Bible study after that. So I stopped coming. Girl that I met online would message me, are you coming? Are you this? Are you that? I'm sure it was an accident. I'm sure it was this. I'm sure it was that. I didn't want to hear any of that. So, but I was still in the group chat with the girls and the facilitator. The facilitator sent this big message out basically saying that you all have graduated from this Bible study class and now you all are going to be going to the next one where you're going to go more in depth with your journey on reading the Bible. Remember how I told you she was treating this like it was a college course? Like, you had to have a certain amount of attendance in order to, like, participate, basically, like they do in college. If you miss a certain amount of classes, you can't pass. I politely told them, I'm not going. I'm not going. This lady proceeds to blow my phone up with text messages saying how important it is and how mandatory it is that I need to be a part of this Bible study, and how if the hours don't work out, she can come and teach me what needs to be taught, and then I can jump into that course. But it's very crucial and a necessity that I participate in this new Bible study that they're doing. No, I don't like that. I don't like that. No, I'm not. It got to the point where she was texting me and I just stopped responding, and she began to call me. And I mean call me, I mean harassment. It was harassment. She wanted me in that group so bad, and I said, no, I'm not joining it. I ended up blocking her number. And I don't do that to everybody. I had to block her number. You're not going to bombard me. You're not going to hound me into something that I don't want to do. So it got to the point where she actually called from another number. When she called from this other number, I was in a grocery store and I was getting some stuff. And I was like, hello? She was like, hey, this is so-and-so. I don't know if you saw me calling from my other phone, but I just want to get back to you. What do you think you're going to do about the Bible study? I was so disgusted that she called from another number. I said, look, I'm not going. I got stuff going on. It's not realistic for me at this moment. Yada, yada, yada. So she's like, well, let me know if anything changes and you have my number. She said it just like that in that tone, and I hung up the phone. I'm walking around the store, and all of a sudden I felt witchcraft on me. When you get into the Lord and He gives you discernment, you will begin to see when people put witchcraft on you. Because I physically went from shopping in the store perfectly fine to all of a sudden I stopped in the aisle and I was just looking at my hands. And you know in the movies when people take drugs, or what is it called, the fisheye view on your camera where everything's like a big bubble? I looked at my hands and I was like, what is going on? And I had a basket, and I remember dropping the basket and just looking at my hands and my phone, and I'm like, what is going on right now? Like, I felt, I've never taken drugs, I've never taken shrooms, marijuana, none of that stuff. But I said if I was tripping, it would be this right now. I literally dropped my basket and I had to leave the store. I was crossing the street and I was like, I just need to get to my car, I just need to sit down. And I'm literally in my hair, like, tripping. It was bad. It was witchcraft. Or to my car, I ended up butt dialing the girl that I met on Instagram, right? So now, mind you, this is the night that the new Bible study is starting. That's why the facilitator was hounding me to get on it, because they were starting it tonight, and everybody in the other group besides my friend said that she was going to join. Girl I knew on Instagram reached out and said that she was going to join a new group. So at this time, I'm calling her. She shouldn't be picking up because she's in a new group, right? Butt dialing her, and I'm like, in my car, and I hooked my phone up so I can have it to my radio, and I hear hello, and I was like, on my phone, I called her. I was like, girl, I'm so sorry, I meant to call my mom. I didn't mean to call anybody. I said, I meant to call my mom, I'm so sorry. She's like, yeah. So she's like, She's like, hey girl, what you doing? I said, girl, I'm trying to call my mom. I'm at the store, something like that. She's like, oh, okay. Are you hopping onto the Bible study? I said, no, I thought I sent a message in the group chat saying I wasn't going. Yeah, I saw it, but I just thought you maybe might have changed your mind. I said it straight like that. I said, oh, no. I said, no, and I already told the facilitator that I won't be joining, so da-da-da-da-da. But let me call my mom. She's like, okay, hon, have a good night. When I got off the phone with her, I was in that parking lot rebuking and binding in tongues of fire. And when I finished, I called my friend and I said, this whole thing is witchcraft. I literally felt like I was in one of those creepy carny movies because I couldn't see. It's like I couldn't function. It's like I could barely do the bare minimum of what I was supposed to do. But that only happened after that facilitator called me. And I would have never picked up if I knew it was her. And I prayed, and I still felt witchcraft on me, and I cried because I said, I'm gonna be all right. I'm gonna be all right. But I cried because I reached out to this girl and I really thought we hit it off. But that will show you how good people are good at faking, wanting to be a friend and just faking to get what they need. Do you all know that I found out that the girl that reached out to me on Instagram actually knew about the facilitator. I already knew about her, but yet she told me there's a guest speaker at this church, we should go. She basically told me she didn't know her. She basically told me that she's told me I don't know her. Helen, what does all this mean? I'm about to tell you what it means. This girl reached out to me on Instagram with the intentions of getting me to sign up for this Bible study that she already knew about from the lady that was going to be the facilitator. They knew each other. They made up a plan to reach out to individuals online, to be friends and reel them in. And then I want you to be a part of this Bible study. That is so malicious and evil. And you faked being my friend so that you could get me to join this Bible study. That apparently turns out there was some type of quota to be met with the amount of people that were in the Bible study. When you met me, why couldn't you just tell me I have a Bible study I'm trying to recruit people for? I would love to have you participate. She didn't say any of that. I found out they were in cahoots with each other, and I politely blocked everyone. And I think we had a app group chat on one of the apps, and we would talk every day, and it just went from, after I told them I wasn't joining and my friend told them that we weren't going to the new Bible study, we went from talking every day to not talking at all. And I had the app on my phone, and I just went to look at it one day, and I saw her message. She's like, hey, I miss you guys. How's everything doing? No, you don't. No, you don't. So there is an impressionable believer who would take the situation and politely walk themselves right back out into the world, and I wouldn't blame them. It's the spirit of Jezebel, in a sense, the fact that you are willing to fake being something in order to get what you want. It's a Bible study. It's a literal Bible study. That if I was a fresh believer, I would have politely walked myself back out to the world and been like, that was trippy. That was so sketch. I don't want to be a part of it. It pissed me off. I say that it was from hell because I literally experienced witchcraft after getting off the phone with the both of them. And I had to pray that night. And I had to pray hard to get that off of me because I had stepped into it. That's why I said, pray about everything that you do. It's not just, oh, this is for the kingdom of God and God would love for me to do it. God knows that there are people that claim his name and claim to love him that do malicious and evil things like that. You have to be spirit-led on all these decisions that you make, or you will end up in a situation like this. To somebody who is an impressionable believer, has this experience, and will now see Jesus in a light like this, all because you all are worried about getting people for your congregation and meeting a quota for a Bible study. Further on down the months when I would experience intense sessions of anxiety or depression, somehow, some way, these people that I blocked would find a way to contact me. And I knew that it was them. The Lord even went as far as to show my friend them standing around a witch's cauldron. Anyway, that wraps up this story time. If you all have personally went through something like this, please tell your story down below. And please understand, for anybody that is a new believer and you haven't gone through this and you're like, ugh, I don't even think I want to be part of it. You don't, but that's why you pray that the Lord will lead you into where you specifically need to be, because then these things won't happen. And if you have been hurt by any individuals who chose to do this and claim the Lord, I apologize, but I need you to understand that that is not Jesus, and they are not representing him appropriately. And that should not be your view of him. You should go find him for yourself. So that wraps up this video today. Like, comment, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. But I do want you to comment down below if you've ever experienced anything like this or anything of the sorts. I will check in with you all in my next video. Until then, bye guys.